Hello, it is Wednesday, September the 26th, the year 2012, and as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Last night, Major League Baseball, as I said yesterday, the National League is pretty much set. They're just fighting for a home field. I mean, you're going to have Washington, you're going to have Cincinnati, you're going to have San Francisco, you're going to have Atlanta and St. Louis as your wild cards. They're all just fighting for positioning at this point. Those are going to be your 5 teams in. American League, a little more muddled. I mean, you're going to have Texas, you're going to have the Yankees most likely, and you're going to have the winner of Detroit-Chicago. Now, between Detroit and Chicago, right now they're tied. Whoever wins is going to make it, obviously. Whoever loses is going to be out completely. They're not close enough in the wild card. So that is winner take all between Detroit and Chicago. Detroit does tie them for the division last night. So that's a flat-footed tie with a week to go. Yankees are a game and a half, 2 in the loss column over Baltimore. And as I look at the scoreboard today, the Yankees are winning today 6-1 in Minnesota behind Sabathia. I do expect the Yankees to hang on and win the division. So to me, the big races are, Detroit, Chicago for the division, and the big thing is this wild card. Right now, Baltimore and Oakland are tied. They have the first 2 positions in the wild card. Right now, they would both make it. They have the same exact record. The Angels are 2 back and playing really well. I was wondering when the Angels were going to make a run. They're making it right now. They have a lot of games left with Seattle. They face King Felix tonight, though, so that won't be easy. But the Angels have a lot of games left with Seattle, where the A's have a lot of games left with Texas. So keep an eye on that. Tampa is not out of it either. They're only 3 games out. There is only a week to go, but Tampa is scrappy. They just won't go away. So they're involved as well. So very interesting. Down the stretch we come in baseball. Only a week to go and still a lot of things to be decided. Tonight in the American League, every game means something. So if you want to look, you want something to watch tonight, anything in the American League means something, so definitely keep an eye on that. Let's move over to college football. It's funny, I was thinking about this before. College football has the shortest season. I mean, before you turn around, the season's going to be over. I mean, by Thanksgiving, the season is already winding down besides the bowl games. I mean, right around Thanksgiving time, all the big rivalry games are taking place. And then after that, you just have the bowl games. So college football is very, very short. So enjoy it while you have it. Another problem I have with college football, why do the networks all put the big games on at the same time, all competing against each other? I mean, last week you have Florida State Clemson on ABC. You have Auburn LSU on ESPN. On Fox you have Kansas State Oklahoma. And on NBC you have Notre Dame and Michigan all at the same time. All at the same time. So it's almost, I'm a college football, I love college football, so I want to watch all of it, and it's just almost impossible to do. I'm flipping 4 channels at once. I have the double box on my TV, I have the split screen, I'm flipping all over the place, so there's 4 games going on of interest at the same time. Those were the 4 biggest games probably last week. They're all on at the same time. Drives me absolutely crazy. And college football so far this year hasn't been great. You haven't had too many big matchups. I mentioned a few just now from last week. This week, though, now last week you had a million games on at the same time. This week it's going to be hard to find any game on. Any game on worth watching, I should say. You have Texas-Oklahoma State on Fox at 7:30. Okay, it's an okay game. 3:30 at Michigan State, Ohio State. Michigan State's already lost. Ohio State hasn't looked great. That should be a low-scoring game. I could see that game going either way. I think Michigan State has an edge being at home. Plus, I love their defense. Georgia, Tennessee, 3:30, Channel 2. Not great. Georgia should win that game at home. Tennessee's a little better, but a little better than they've been, but nothing great there. The primetime ABC game at 8 o'clock, Wisconsin, Nebraska. Wisconsin's already lost. They lost to Oregon State. They've looked terrible in every game. Nebraska already got bombed by UCLA. They haven't looked great. I would expect Nebraska to win this game, handily. Wisconsin can't get out of their own way right now. That's the primetime ABC game. Then you have other games. You have West Virginia, Baylor. I know they're both undefeated. They both haven't played anyone. You want to keep an eye on Oregon State, Arizona. Oregon State's won 2 games. Maybe. Not much else. I mean, the Thursday night game tomorrow, Stanford at Washington. Stanford coming off the big win against USC. Washington, not great. And remember, that game is not at Husky Stadium. They're redoing Husky Stadium, so that's where the Seahawks play. So that's Thursday night. Friday night game, Hawaii at BYU. I mean, Hawaii on the mainland is always trouble. I mean, that's not a great game. I mean, you got Florida State, South Florida on Saturday. Ole Miss at Alabama. I mean, Ole Miss got crushed by Texas. I mean, how are they going to compete with Alabama? So this week, a very light lineup in college football. I mean, really not much going on. I mean, I'll keep an eye on the games, but not a great week in college football. I mean, I know it's going to get better as the season goes on. We get into some of those classic matchups like LSU, Alabama down the road. But this week, not so great. As far as my picks for this week, I'm going to give you 3 picks. South Carolina -21 over Kentucky in Lexington. Kentucky cannot get out of their own way. They've been beaten by everyone, every which way. They look like an awful football team. I mean, we know they're a basketball school, but they just look terrible. South Carolina's defense should shut them down. I don't even know if Kentucky's going to score in this game. If they do score, it won't be a lot. I see South Carolina just running away with this game. Game number 2, UCLA -20 over Colorado at Boulder. Colorado actually did get a win last week somehow. They came all the way back and won, but Colorado in general has been a bad team. They lost to Colorado State. They got destroyed by Fresno State. So I don't expect anything from Colorado. UCLA did lose last week to Oregon State. I expect them to rebound and score a bunch of points in Colorado, and I think UCLA will have a field day against the Colorado defense. My third pick, Louisiana Monroe. They're the darlings of college football this year. Of course, they beat Arkansas in Little Rock a few weeks ago. They go to Tulane. Louisiana Monroe is 18-point favorites over Tulane. Tulane just got shut out by Mississippi last week. Tulane is really going to have a long season. Of course, they had that incident where one of their players got seriously hurt. He's rehabilitating right now, so we wish him all the best. It looks like a long season for Tulane, though. So I think Louisiana Monroe goes into the Superdome where you know they're not going to have many fans there for Tulane. They don't draw well there at all. They are getting, I think, a new stadium soon close to their campus or on campus, so that'll help them. Plus, it'll be less seating than the Superdome. So at least they'll have some kind of home field advantage because they don't have it there in the Superdome. Look for Louisiana Monroe to really blow out Tulane this week. So those are my 3 picks. And like I said, not a great week for college football at all, but that will pick up as the year goes on. So tonight, keep an eye on all the American League baseball because everything means something today in the American League. Tomorrow, big day. We're doing all the NFL. We're doing every single game. We're picking every single game. We're breaking down every single game. So tomorrow, wall-to-wall NFL. And by the way, it looks like they're going to settle this thing with the referees. It looks like they're going to finally settle on the regular refs could be back by the weekend. Thank goodness. I mean, this whole thing has been a complete joke. It should have never gotten to this point. So that looks like it's going to be rectified. We got the Ryder Cup coming up this weekend in Chicago. Hopefully the United States can take care of business there. They have had their troubles in the Ryder Cup recently, so we'll see about that. Like I said, tomorrow, wall-to-wall NFL. And you guys have a great night. Enjoy the games tonight, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.